Dear viewers, you are all welcome to a new edition, new episodes, new version from Sudan Eco and Evans Eco from Sudanese Eco Platform. This week there is many events, many actions, many things can be tackled. I think to start with the arrival of General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, President of the Transitional Sovereignty Council, to the presidential palace. This is not normal events which taken place, because if we go back to 3 years and half before this war, this palace have been the center of the government, the presidential palace from which Sudan can take its sovereignty. As a result of this war, this is destruction, completely destruction to this presidential, and as we know, all of us, the government have been transferred to Port Sudan and recently down to Khartoum. But the presidential palace had not taken place in this area, and only this week the President Abdel Fattah al-Burhan have arrived, and with a very ceremonial and protocol, military and also civil, have assumed his responsibility and take over his office. And it is also an occasion that he have received many credential papers for the ambassador from outside Sudan to present their countries in Sudan. This, I think, it will give the light and will give the hope also for the coming back of the government, the coming back of the life, the normalization of the life in Khartoum. I think also this will have many other responsibilities towards the citizen who came back in the voluntary return to Sudan from many countries outside, after many years outside, and also their need to many services. It is not only the coming back to the center of the government, presidential palace, or the cabinet, or even the universities or other assessments of the government is not only this is what we need, but we need also to assure and guarantee services as electricity, water, transport, and the nutrition and all things which the citizen in need. I think it will give us a new hope that the government will take its responsibility and also it will go ahead. The second issue is the security and political consultation committee between Sudan and the Republic of South Sudan. This committee was concluded its meeting last Tuesday in Juba, presided by the Minister of Defense, General Hassan Kabron, and also the Minister of Defense and the Affair of Ancient Fighters in South Sudan, Ashol Ton, and held its meeting. This meeting comes after 3 years and a half of the rupture. This committee, which have been formed in many years ago, have a custom to hold its meeting every 6 months in Khartoum and in Juba. And it is very important because there is many agreements. More than 12 agreements have been assigned between the two countries after the independence of Southern Sudan to Sudan in 2011. And all these agreements have gone in a good side to keep the cooperation between the two countries. But in this war, there is many events which have passed in the area, and it is representing the subject of this committee. One of them, and it is very important, is the support of the government of Southern Sudan to the militia of Al-Dagalu and also the mercenaries who have put their arms in the arms of the citizens of Southern Sudan and make many conspirations against the people of Sudan. The government of Southern Sudan have denied many times, has nothing to do with this support of the rebels, but the fact that is the Vice President of Salva Kiir, Derta Bandeng, is one of those who are supporting definitely the rebels of the militia against Sudan. Also, those who are being in the southern Kordofan or south or east Kordofan and in Darfur and even in Khartoum, there is many of the southern people, citizens who are make a part of the fighters in Khartoum with the rebels. This is one of the topics which have been tackled in this meeting, and there is many agreements upon this area. The second thing is the problems of Abyei as one of the three areas in Nivasha agreements that to have a separate protocol. But during this war, maybe the government of Southern Sudan get a benefit of the troubles in Sudan and declare that the Abyei will be one of the election center for the presidential election which will take place lately in Southern Sudan. And this is a violation of the protocol of Abyei because there is a joint committee which have failed to do its job because there is intervention from the Southern Sudan government, and it was very sad that the people of Abyei have been a part of this. Some of them because the tribal conflict in this area have something which have negative effects on this area. I think the two sides have agreed upon many things, that to consolidate the cooperation between the two countries, to protect the borders which have been 1,800 kilometers, and there is many areas which have been a conflict area till now, not Abyei, but also Kafi Kingi, Hufrat al-Nihas, Al-Fakhar. These are areas which have been also in the border of the two countries, and it was one of the conflicts area. I think the cooperation, the coordination, the protection of all this can go ahead between the two countries if the Southern Sudan government have been serious to implement the outcome of these recommendations of this committee. This time we are in need of cooperation, we are in need of protecting each other because the security of Sudan depends on the security of this country, and the vice versa is also right. This is committee, I think it is very important. The time in which taken, it is decision very important, and the implementation of the recommendation is most important. Last topic in this episode is the drones which have come back to Sudan during these days, And as we know, according to the report with the armed forces, that more than 45 drones have been launched to many towns in Sudan, in Al Ubaid, west of the country, and also Durman, Khartoum, and these areas have been for a long time that there is no any attack with the drones. But we have to put in mind that there is many reasons which have been revised this sort of war. It can be classified as a war which always oriented to the civil and to the citizen as the center of the electric and the water and schools and hospitals have been also the aim of these areas. I think the victories in many areas in Sudan and mainly in the west, Kordofan, Darfur, and also in Bara and Nuhud, these areas, the armed forces have been a very good victories during the 2 last weeks. And this is very, very, very good victories can revive the rebels to go ahead and to open a new channel of war and battles. The attack against Gisan in the Blue Nile lately is one of this conspiracy, because they want that the armed forces to go to many other sites away from the area of battle now in the West Sudan, because also the armed forces have declared that at the end of this year it will liberate all the Sudan from any rebels. So the rebel try as much as possible to open many channels and many areas of battle in order to disseminate the efforts of the armed forces and to attack also citizens in the area which have been taken by the armed forces and dominated completely by the armed forces. I think the armed forces in this time need to have a strategic plan, as we said before this time, to launch an attack in the area from which the platform of these drones, because the matter of the defense after these drones have arrived their objectives, I think it has a very negative aspect according to what we have happened now. Many citizens have been victims of these drones, and many areas have been destructed completely by this drone. So the government, the defense part of the government, of the armed forces, must launch its defense according to the area from which these drones have been launched. Dear viewers, we have come to the end of our episode for this week. Thank you for following us, and we have meet each other in the next week. Thank you and goodbye.